Okay, we're still on lesson 4.1, and this is task 5, and we're talking about function notation. So we are talking about relations and functions, and now we're going to look at how you can write that in function notation. So this is just a mathematical way to write something in function notation. All right, so a couple vocabulary terms that you need to know is dependent and independent variables. So let's look at what it says. If the ordered pair x and y for a function have a pattern that can be expressed algebraically, you can write an equation that shows how to calculate the value of y from the value of x. For instance, if the value of y is always 1 more than the value of x, you can write y equals x plus 1. Because the value of y depends on the value of x, is called the dependent variable, and x is called the independent variable. You can name a function by using a letter, typically f, but g and h are often used as well. You can then use the function notation f of x, which is read the value of f at x, or simply f of x, in place of the dependent variable y. For instance, you can write the ordered pair xy as f, f of x, because f of x is just another name or another way to write y. And you can write the function representation of the equation y equals x plus 1 as f of x equals x plus 1. The expression x plus 1 is called the function rule. The function rule is an algebraic expression that defines a function. All right, so again, a couple definitions that you definitely need to keep track of and make sure that you not just know these, but you understand them as well. All right, let's look at some examples. You can determine the value of a function by substituting a given value for the independent variable. A ball is dropped from a platform 30 feet above the ground. The ball's height, h, in feet above the ground can be modeled by the function f of t equals negative 16t squared plus 30, where t is time in seconds since the ball dropped. So h of t represents your height, and t represents time in seconds. So the independent variable is time, so that would be t, and the dependent variable, the height, represents how long it's been since it dropped. So the dependent variable is h, or height. All right, choose the words to best complete the sentence. The notation h of 1 represents the height of the object after 1. 1 is your x, h of x is your y, and h of x was height, but this one would be in seconds. How do you find h of 1? Well, you take the equation given. So the equation that they gave us up here was negative 16t squared plus 30. So that's the function rule. And you simply substitute 1 in for x. So this is h of x, remember. So x is going to be 1. So we're going to substitute 1 in for t into that rule. All right, when we do that, what is the value of h of 1? All right, so 1 squared is 1. 1 times negative 16 is negative 16. Negative 16 plus 30 is positive 14. So all we did was plug the 1 in and check it. All right, if you want to pause the video, we are going to do one more task. All right, welcome back. This is lesson 4.1, and this is task 6. We're still talking about relations and functions and using function notation. All right, so this example says you can also determine the value of a function by using the graph. The graph of a function g shown here is the set of all points x and g of x. Remember, g of x is the same as y, where x is in the domain of the function. All right, so it says the point of the graph is located at, this point on the graph is located at x equals 2. All right, you can see the scale here. It goes 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, so on. So 2, this point, x at 2 is associated with -4. So the associated y-coordinate is -4, so g of 2, when x is 2, so g of 2 equals -4. All right, it says, what is the domain of the function? So if you look, the domain is all your x's, and your x's go left to right. So this curve, later you'll find that this is called a parabola. It goes in both directions. It extends both left and right infinitely with arrows, which means that your domain is all real numbers. All right, it says for the given graph, determine the values and complete the equations. All right, so they want us to find g of -2. So we got to go up and find -2. When x is -2, what is our y value? So if we come over here, there's -2, and it looks like we go up to +8. All right, so g of -2 is 8. And then we're going to find g of 6. All right, so when x is 6, we go 2, 4, 6. When x is 6, y is -8. All right, so this should be -8. All right, describe how to use the graph to locate a function value for a given value of x. Basically, you're just looking for the ordered pair. When it asks you to find g of some number, just know that that's your x, and you need to find the associated y value that goes with that. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know.